Welcome to another deep dive. This time we're going to be taking a look at the world of AI and video.
Yeah.
More specifically, how AI is being used to generate video.
Right.
There's a new approach that's really making some waves,
Yeah.
and it's all centered around this new model called NoVA.
hmm
So we're going to unpack a recent research paper on NoVA, and we'll see if it lives up to all the hype.
Yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
Definitely.
Because video generation, it's really a tough problem to crack.
Yeah.
You got to create these realistic images, and then you have to somehow string them together seamlessly to create movement.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about all that's involved, it's really mind-blowing.
Totally.
And for a while now, a technique called diffusion modeling has been the go-to in AI video.
Right.
So, can you talk a little bit about some of the limitations with diffusion models that maybe led researchers to start looking at some new approaches?
Yeah. So diffusion models, they work pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
but they're really resource intensive.
Yeah.
They require a lot of computing power and a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, another issue is they struggle with flexibility.
Okay.
So, like if you want to generate a video that's longer than the clips that the model was trained on, you're kind of out of luck.
Right.
It's almost like, like trying to make a movie, but you only have 10-second snippets to work with.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where Noviet comes in.
Exactly.
It stands for non-quantized autoregressive video generation,
Mhm.
and it really takes a unique approach to solving these challenges.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the paper, it really dives into the technical weeds,
Mm.
but maybe you could just give us a high-level overview of how Novia works. Just the magic behind it.
Sure. So, imagine you're telling a story.
Yeah.
So you describe one event, and then you describe the next event, and the next. You just kind of keep building on what came before.
Mm-hmm.
So Novia works in a similar way.
Okay.
It predicts frames one after another.
Okay.
It's called temporal prediction.
Gotcha.
But what's really cool is that within each frame, it's not predicting every detail in a specific order.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it predicts chunks of visual information
Okay.
or tokens,
Okay.
and it predicts them in a kind of random sequence.
Oh, interesting. So instead of kind of painstakingly painting a picture pixel by pixel,
Right.
it's more like Novia is kind of strategically filling in the pieces of a puzzle.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And that randomness, that's actually key to its efficiency. By not being, tied to a specific order, it can actually process information in parallel.
Okay.
And that makes the whole generation process much faster.
Gotcha. That's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
The paper also talks about Novia using non-quantized tokenization.
Mm.
Now, I'm guessing this is this is kind of a big deal given that it's right there in the name.
Right.
So tell me, why is that so important?
Okay, so the previous autoregressive models, the ones that predicted things step by step,
Mm-hmm.
they had to compress visual information, to make it manageable.
Okay.
And this compression is called vector quantization,
Okay.
and it basically led to a loss of detail, like if you're trying to fit a high resolution image into a really tiny file.
Right. Right.
But NoVA, it completely bypasses that.
So you're saying that Novia basically skips the whole compression step,
Exactly.
and that leads to much higher quality results.
Yeah, exactly.
That's impressive. Are there any other key innovations that really help NoVA kind of stand out from the crowd?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
One that really stands out is how NoVA handles motion.
Okay.
So instead of predicting each frame in isolation,
Mm-hmm.
it focuses on the relative changes between frames.
Gotcha.
The researchers, they call this scaling and shifting.
Okay.
And it basically allows NoVA to capture those subtle movements that make videos look really smooth and natural.
Okay, so it's like Novia understands the flow of the movement, not just a series of static images.
Right.
Okay. What about the nitty-gritty of the model's architecture?
Mm-hmm.
The paper mentions post-norm layers.
Right.
Is that something that us non-technical folks need to wrap our heads around?
It's a little technical,
Yep.
but essentially what it does is it helps stabilize the training process.
Okay.
Training these large AI models, it's kind of like
Yeah.
trying to herd 1,000 cats.
Yeah.
Things can get really chaotic really quickly.
Right.
But these post-norm layers, they kind of act like a gentle shepherd.
Okay.
Keeping the model on track and preventing it from going haywire.
Gotcha. So it's like a behind the scenes hero, making sure that everything stays on track.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, I think let's move on to what everyone really wants to know.
Hmm.
How well does Novier actually work?
Great.
Does it live up to the hype?
Yeah, well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, good.
So the researchers, they put Novier through a whole bunch of tests,
Mm-hmm.
and they compared it to other state-of-the-art models on various benchmarks.
Okay.
And the results they're pretty remarkable.
Okay, we're ready for the juicy details.
Oh, real.
Give us the highlights. What kind of tasks were they testing, and how did Novia stack up against the competition?
All right. So one of the key tests was text-to-image generation.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, can Novier take a written description and create a realistic image that matches that description?
Right.
And it turns out it does this exceptionally well.
Okay.
It even outperformed some specialized diffusion models on this task
Wow.
while using significantly less computing power.
Oh, wow. So it's not just creating, decent images.
Right.
It's creating high quality images, and it's doing it more efficiently than some of the leading models out there.
Exactly.
Okay. But how about video? I mean, that's really Novier's bread and butter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, the researchers, they didn't just test basic text video generation.
Right.
They really wanted to push Novia's boundaries,
Mhm.
see what it was truly capable of.
I love it when researchers get ambitious like that.
Yeah.
So what kind of challenges did they throw at Novier?
Okay, so one that really impressed me was video extrapolation.
Okay.
So they gave Novier a single frame and a text prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to generate a longer video sequence that extended beyond what it was trained on.
Wow.
So it's like, giving the AI a single snapshot
Right.
and asking it to imagine what happens next.
Hey, like AI storytelling.
Right, it's
Yeah.
yielding a narrative just from a single visual cue.
Exactly.
Did Novier rise to the challenge?
It did.
Okay, good.
And it wasn't just a random sequence of images.
Mm-hmm.
The generated videos, they showed impressive temporal consistency,
Okay.
which means that the actions and objects, they flowed smoothly.
Right.
They made sense over time.
Got it.
The overall narrative felt cohesive.
So it wasn't just creating a bunch of, disconnected moments.
Right.
It was actually capturing the flow of events.
Right.
The cause and effect relationships between frames.
Except that's really remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
And they also tested Novia's ability to generate videos from still images, right?
Yes.
So you could give it a picture of a waterfall, and Novia could imagine, how the water would cascade down and create a moving scene. It's like, bringing those static images to life,
Right.
breathing, movement and energy into them.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Novia was designed with flexibility and multifunctionality in mind.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's a significant departure from how many other video generation models are designed.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be more specialized, focusing on specific task or a specific type of video.
Right.
But Novia really seems to be breaking down those walls.
Yeah.
It offers a more unified approach to video generation.
Well, this has been an incredible start to our Novii deep dive.
Yep.
We've unpacked the key innovations, explored its impressive capabilities, and I'm already eager to hear more about how this model stacks up against the competition.
Yeah, we've only just scratched the surface.
Okay.
In the next part, we'll dive deeper into Novier's performance on various benchmarks.
Okay.
We'll compare it to other leading models.
Okay.
And we'll analyze those groundbreaking results in even more detail.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Don't miss it.
Yeah. Welcome back. So let's dive into the data behind Novia's performance. The researchers really put it through its paces. They tested it against other top AI models and in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it sounds like a real AI showdown.
It was.
So, what were some of the key benchmarks that they used to compare these models?
Okay, so one important test was text-to-image generation. So how well can each model take a written description and then create a matching image? They used a benchmark called Genaball, which specifically looks at how well models generate images with a specific number of objects.
Okay.
So, for example, if you prompt it with a photo of two dogs playing Frisbee in a park, can the AI accurately create that scene?
Right. So it's a test of both understanding and creative execution.
Exactly.
How did Novi fare in this image generation challenge?
So Novia, it achieved state-of-the-art performance on Genaball, especially when it came to accurately depicting the requested number of objects. So it really understands those nuances of the prompt. But they didn't stop there. Novia was also tested on other benchmarks like T2I Comp Bench and DPG Bench,
Okay.
which evaluate different aspects of image quality like color accuracy, object representation, and just overall realism.
So it wasn't just a one-hit wonder on a single benchmark.
Right.
It was consistently performing at a high level across multiple tests.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But I'm even more curious about its performance on video generation.
Right.
I mean, that's really what Novia is specifically designed for.
Absolutely. So for video generation, they used a benchmark called VBench. It's pretty comprehensive.
Okay.
It evaluates models across 16 different dimensions.
Wow.
Including things like aesthetic quality, how well it recognizes objects, and the smoothness of motion.
16 dimensions. That's a serious evaluation.
Yeah, it is.
I'm on the edge of my seat. How did Novia perform?
So even with a smaller model size than some of the giants in the field, it achieved a score of 80.1 on VBench.
Okay.
Which put it right up there with the leading diffusion models.
Wow, that's a huge accomplishment, especially given its smaller size. It sounds like Novia is punching above its weight class.
It really is.
What about efficiency?
Right.
We talked earlier about how diffusion models require massive amounts of computing power.
Yeah.
Did Novia offer any improvements in that area?
That's perhaps the most exciting part.
Okay.
So Novia, it generated those high quality videos with a processing speed of 2.75 frames per second, all on a single NVIDIA A100 GPU.
Okay.
And get this, it achieved these results with significantly less training time than other top models.
So faster, more efficient, and producing high quality results.
Yeah.
This Novia model is living up to the hype.
It really is.
But the researchers didn't stop at just basic text to image and text to video tasks, right?
Right.
They wanted to explore Novia's full potential, especially those zero-shot generalization abilities that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
So they delved into some really fascinating applications. They really pushed the boundaries of what Novia could do.
Okay.
One that really stands out is video extrapolation. Remember, that's where you give the model a single frame and a text prompt.
Right.
And it has to generate a longer video sequence, essentially imagining what happens next.
Right. It's like giving the AI a starting point and a story idea, and then just letting it run wild.
Right. Exactly.
What were some of the results they saw with video extrapolation?
Okay, so Novia was able to generate videos up to twice the length of its training data, all while maintaining that impressive temporal consistency.
Okay.
So the actions flowed smoothly, the objects interacted in a way that made sense,
right?
And the overall narrative felt cohesive.
So it wasn't just creating random visuals, it was creating stories, visual narratives that unfolded over time.
Exactly.
That's pretty remarkable.
It is.
But what about generating videos from still images?
Right.
Could Novia handle that challenge as well?
It certainly can.
Okay.
They tested this in a couple of ways, both with and without text prompts.
Okay.
So, you could give Novia a picture of a beach. And it could imagine the waves crashing on the shore, the seagulls flying overhead. Or You could add a prompt like a storm rolls in, the waves grow larger and more powerful, and see how that influences the generated video.
So it's like giving the AI a spark of creativity, a starting point, and then letting it run with it, adding its own interpretation and style to the scene.
Exactly.
Did the researchers dig into the whys behind Novia's success? Like what makes this model tick?
They did, yeah. Um, they wanted to understand, which architectural choices were really crucial to Novi performance. So they conducted some really insightful experiments. For example, they tested what would happen if they removed the temporal autoregressive component. So that's the part that allows Nova FE to predict frames in sequence.
Okay, so they basically took away Novia's sense of time,
Exactly.
forcing it to predict the entire video at once rather than frame by frame.
Right.
What happened?
The results were fascinating.
Okay.
The model could still generate videos, but the quality, especially the smoothness of motion, it really took a hit.
Okay.
And the inference time, the time it took to generate the video, it increased dramatically.
Wow.
So this really confirmed that temporal aspect, it's key to Novia's efficiency.
Right.
And its ability to create, natural-looking movement.
It's like that old saying, timing is everything. It seems to apply to AI video generation as well.
It does.
Did they test any other components?
Yes. They also explored the impact of the scaling and shifting layer, which, as we discussed, allows Novia to focus on the relative changes between frames.
Right, right.
They tested different configurations of this layer to see how it affected the model's ability to capture motion.
Okay.
And what they found was that a specific configuration, which they called rank 24, it kind of struck the perfect balance.
Okay.
It allowed Novia to capture those subtle motion changes without sacrificing its overall ability to represent complex visual information.
So it's like finding that sweet spot, the right balance between complexity and efficiency.
Exactly.
Did they experiment with any other parts of the architecture?
Yes, they also analyzed the impact of the post-norm layer, which helps stabilize the training process.
Right.
And their experiments confirmed that this layer played a crucial role in preventing the model from becoming unstable during training. So, without it, the training process could easily go off the rails.
Right. It's like a safety net for the AI, making sure that it can handle the massive amounts of data needed for training without getting overwhelmed.
Exactly. And all of these experiments, they really highlight the researchers' meticulous approach to designing and evaluating Novia. They weren't just throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck.
Right.
They were carefully considering each component and its impact on the model's overall performance.
Yeah, it's that kind of attention to detail, that willingness to really understand how the model works, that leads to these breakthroughs in AI.
Definitely.
But with all of its achievements, I'm sure there's still areas where Novia can improve. No AI model is perfect.
Right, and the researchers are very transparent about that.
Okay.
They identify a few areas where Novia could be even better. One area they highlight is text rendering. Mm-hmm. So while Novia excels at generating realistic images and videos, it still struggles a bit with generating text within those visuals.
Okay, so if you prompt it to generate a street sign with words on it,
right,
the text might look a bit distorted or blurry.
Exactly, and they attribute this limitation, at least in part, to the data sets that they used for training. Mm-hmm. Those data sets might not have contained enough high quality examples of text within images and videos.
Right. It makes sense. If the AI doesn't have enough good examples to learn from, it's going to have a hard time replicating that in its own creations.
Right.
It reminds us that even with these powerful AI models, the quality of the training data is still really important.
Absolutely.
But even with those limitations, Novi's accomplishments are undeniable. It's pushing the boundaries of what's possible in video generation.
It really is.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground, from the technical details to the impressive results, and even some areas for future improvement. I'm eager to hear your final thoughts on what Novi's success means for the future of AI and content creation.
Okay, yeah.
But I think we've reached the end of this segment.
Okay, we'll save those profound reflections for the grand finale.
Yeah, join us for part 3, where we'll explore the broader implications of Novi's achievements, consider its potential impact on various industries, and leave you with some thought-provoking questions to ponder.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Novier.
Yeah.
It's it's been quite a journey exploring all the technical intricacies of this model.
It has.
I'm particularly excited about this part because now we get to step back and consider the bigger picture,
Yeah.
What does this all mean?
Right. Yeah, Novier's capabilities really raise some interesting questions about the future of AI and content creation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We've talked about how Novier excels at these specific tasks, like generating images from text or extrapolating videos. But
Right.
I'm curious about the broader implications.
Right.
What does Novier's success tell us about the direction that AI is heading?
Yeah, I think one of the most significant takeaways is how Novier is really blurring the lines between all these different AI tasks. Traditionally we've had separate models for things like image generation, video generation, and even more specialized tasks like video extrapolation. Right.
Right.
But Novia kind of challenges that whole paradigm.
Yeah.
By offering a more unified approach.
So instead of having a toolbox full of specialized AI tools, Novi is more like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It can handle a wider range of tasks with impressive proficiency.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And this multifunctionality, it has the potential to revolutionize how we create and interact with content.
Right.
Imagine a world where you can seamlessly move from text to image to video, all within the same AI model, right?
Exactly.
You could start with a story idea.
Yeah.
Generate a storyboard, and then bring it to life as a full-fledged video, all with the help of Novia.
Totally. And it's not just filmmakers.
Right.
It's advertisers.
Yeah.
Game developers, educators.
Yeah. The applications seem endless.
They really do.
And it's not just about the practical applications, right?
Yeah.
Novier's success also kind of sparks this deeper philosophical question about the nature of creativity.
Yeah. When we see an AI model generating such compelling and creative content,
right,
it makes us wonder, are we witnessing some form of artificial creativity?
Yeah.
Or is it it's just really sophisticated mimicry of human creativity?
Yeah, that's a tough question, and one that's going to be debated for years to come, I think.
Totally.
But I think it's it's a testament to Novia's achievements that it's prompting us to ask these kinds of questions, right? It's pushing us to reconsider our own understanding of creativity and innovation.
Definitely.
And as AI continues to evolve, we're likely to see even more models like Novier that kind of blur the lines between human and artificial creativity.
Yeah.
And this raises some important questions about the future of art,
right,
content creation,
right,
and even our own sense of identity.
Really does.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting to think about.
Yeah.
But as we navigate this uncharted territory, it's crucial that we do so responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that these powerful AI tools are are used for good,
Right.
to to enhance human creativity and understanding
Yeah.
rather than replace or diminish it.
Definitely.
Well said.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Novier,
Mhm.
let's leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So if Novia can, extrapolate a video from a single frame,
mhm.
imagine what it could do with a vast library of real-world footage,
Right.
right? Could it help us, understand patterns,
Yeah.
predict events,
Mm.
or even reimagine history in new and insightful ways?
That's a fascinating question. It's just that AI might not only be able to create new realities, but also help us make sense of our own reality in ways that we never thought possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And with that, I think we've reached the end of our exploration of Novia.
Yeah, this has been it's been a real privilege to dive into this groundbreaking research with you.
That pleasure was all mine.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yes.
We hope you've gained a deeper understanding of the incredible potential of AI and the thought-provoking questions it raises about the future of creativity and innovation.
Definitely.
Until next time, stay curious.
Yes, stay curious.